And we back with another video. We watching top 10 anime with best character development. Another video about Animan. Go drop a like, subscribe, and comment on this page. Drop a like, subscribe, and comment on mine. Thank you. But let's hop into it again.
Creating a masterpiece, whether it was a series or a movie, isn't the action-packed scenes or the many funny jokes and mishaps that take place throughout the series. What makes a great show is the relatability you have to a character as they grow and evolve to become a full-fledged character that is worth watching. That is why for today we will be talking about the top 10 anime with the best character development. So before we start, be sure to hit that subscribe button and press on that bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And beware of the following spoilers. So to kick things off, we have Sword Art Online. Kirito is one of those characters that is always misjudged and taken for granted in many situations. Now, don't get me wrong, this guy has a lot of crazy overpowered skills, hacks, and abilities that no one else has, but being overpowered isn't in any way, shape, or form equivalent to not having character. Sure, we have seen a lot of overpowered enemies fall to his sword, but it's not like he was on his own in these battles and fights. Kirito at his core is somewhat of an incel, a typical Japanese male gamer that finds his zone when alone and secluded from people. He has gone through a lot, and he suffered many losses and caused a lot of deaths. Deaths that he will have to carry on his back forever. More deaths and lives lost that he will learn to live with. As a character, he has shown a lot of compassion and love to his companions. To some on the outside, he might seem like nothing more but an edgelord all dressed in black, and I'm with you there on that one. He likes to be edgy and wears the color black, but that is just the outer shell of Kirito, not the real person behind all that edginess. This character has grown over the course of multiple series, and we can all agree that he, in Alicization, isn't the same Kirito from Sword Art Online the first season. Up next we have Fruits Basket. To some, Toru Honda might seem like a Mary Sue kind of character as the perfectly crafted heaven-sent angel to help others and cure their illnesses, both mental and physical. However, if you did dig a little bit deep enough, you would see that this character is far more intricate and deeper than you can imagine, that this character is what you can call a broken angel, if you wish. She is the embodiment of a person so broken to the point they have nothing left but smiling through the pain. You can see that clearly from the conditions she is living in the literal wilds, and the trauma she is hiding beneath that fake smile after losing her mother, not so recently, from where the series events take place. She is the gift that keeps on giving and always turns a frown upside down, trying to see the good in others rather than the bad. But is she though? On multiple occasions, we saw that she is someone that can't seem to love or forgive herself for something that she has done, and the trauma kept carrying on with her throughout the series. It was only through the help of Yuki and Kyo, and the dynamic relation between those three that they finally found a sense of belonging, love, and most importantly, healing. This later on was portrayed in the change of personality she had, being firmer and straightforward to taking action rather than compromising, and being a Mary Sue of sorts. This character development alone is more than enough for her to be on this list today. And after that, we have The Promised Neverland. What is worse, the heavenly bliss of ignorance or the hellish realization of awareness? This is the dilemma Emma was thrown into after living in ignorance in the orphanage, idolizing her mother and caretaker Isabella, thinking the world of her as someone that will protect her, nurture her into a responsible adult, and alas, the hellish realization of awareness came in like a train and destroyed every ounce of love or respect she ever had to her mother. At that point, Emma had two choices to make. The first, which was the easier of the two, was to just accept her fate as nothing more than livestock and welcome death with open arms like an old friend. The second, however, was to revolt, rise up, take her rightful place as leader of her family, and lead them out of the orphanage into safety. Her task wasn't going to be an easy one, especially for a child to stomach all that in one sitting. Clearly, she had her ups and downs, her doubts, her worries, and her fears. But one thing is for sure, that this character that carried the series on her back was no longer the ignorant, weak, helpless child that she was in the first episode. She rose to the occasion and adapted with her situation. Almost instantly, creating one of the best character development arcs in anime. Sure, the series as a whole flopped and didn't live up to expectations, but I will be damned if we didn't give this kid the credit she deserved for the changes she underwent and all the growing and nurturing of character she had to go through to become the fearless, powerful leader she became at the end of the series. And up next, we have Parasite, the Maxim. Change is part of life and part of learning from our mistakes and the trials we go through throughout our lives. And this anime is especially no stranger to change, whether physical or mental. Shinichi Izumi is arguably one of the most slept-on characters in anime history. Character and anime-wise. I mean, just ask around your anime group and it's probably gonna be like 2 out of 6 people that actually know who Izumi or Migi are. This anime has been slept on for far too long, and it just deserves the recognition for all it brings to the table. The first one being the amazing horror it offers and the gore that comes with it, and not to mention the action-packed scenes it brings to the table. However, all other shows have such action and gore, so what makes this show special? Well, of course, it's the main character Shinichi, and all the character development he goes through throughout the series, changing both physically and mentally. The once scaredy cat that was constantly being bullied by a classmate became the badass that kills parasites for fun. The coolest parallel is when he is being bullied ruthlessly, and once he undergoes his changes, he finally fights back and shows the bully who the real boss is around. He becomes more outgoing and stronger with higher mental fortitude, to say the least. And after all the horrors that he had to witness, it was bound that he would toughen up and show his true mettle. And up next, we have Your Lie in April. One can say that overcoming trauma and traumatic experiences in general is the best kind of character development and growing up. This series in particular just shows how true this is. Initially, Kosei is a talented pianist who loses his ability to hear the sound of his playing after his mother's death, leaving him unable to perform. He is consumed by grief and guilt, living a colorless, mechanical life. His mother, being a famous Japanese pianist as well, used to have so much fun with him when he played the piano. However, as her health rapidly deteriorated, she had to become abusive and forced him to be perfect as a pianist before her time in life was over. This created a deep trauma for him to the point he thought that his mother's health could become better if he played the piano as she wanted him to. That's why her death destroyed him completely and caused to lose him the passion for music in general. Being at his lowest point in life, having lost his passion, his mother, and is depressed, Kaori enters his life like the guardian angel he needed, and with her free spirit and outgoing nature, destroys the shell he was living inside all his life and frees him from the trauma of losing his mother, reigniting his soul once more and giving him a reason once again to be passionate about something. The once timid, silent character became more outgoing, stronger, bolder, and even smarter. He had learned a lot and grew a lot as he just realized how much time he had wasted of his life, being nothing but sorry for himself and living in a shell. That was why in the final episode he dedicated his performance to Kaori, the one that saved him from himself. And after that, we have Gurren Lagann. One of the most impactful changes in character is the character of Simone from Gurren Lagann. Who would have ever imagined that this timid young kid that lived in the shadow of his adopted brother Kamina would ever grow to become such an outstanding hero and leader? Kamina's unfortunate death was one of the most impactful things that has ever happened to young Simone before he underwent this metamorphosis. It was like as if the old, young, terrified for his life Simone was gone and replaced by the spirit of his brother Kamina. Sure, the loss of his brother forced him to take a role of action, but he could have decided not to and just cowered in fear. However, he had the legacy of his brother to live up to, and to make him proud of the person he raised him to be. All this development was reflected in his control over the Gurren Lagann later evolved into this ridiculously large form, and Simone just needed a push of the edge to finally spread his wings and soar up and high in the blue skies. And unfortunately, that push was the death of his brother. But this death served its purpose and gave us a character that we later on adored and loved. And up next, we have Toradora. This series in specific is the master of character development as it revolves around the characters of not one, not 2, but 4 characters that are evolving, growing, and changing with each and every passing episode in the series. Ryuji, Taiga, Minori, and Yusaku. They all had their fair share of character development and growth throughout the series and went through a lot of traumatic experiences that they had to regress for whatever reasons they had. These 4 had walls built upon walls preventing their real nature to show the others. And with each episode, one wall collapsed after the other, revealing their true natures, which were polar opposites to their giddy-go-happy-lucky personalities, that which they had at the start of the series. And the emotions they harbored for their crushes also slowly dissipated as they understood that the feelings they had for them were for an idealistic version of them, and not for the real person that they were. This realization took a lot of personal growth to kick in, and this is why this anime is one of the hidden gems in my opinion, and deserves a watch. And here we have none other than a silent voice. Speaking of hidden gems, this anime is definitely one of them. Even though this is a movie, it had more character development and character redemption than any well-developed series could ever have. This movie was one of those that gave you depression and you liked it. The story of how Ishida Shoya redeemed himself through hard work and resilience from being Shoko's childhood bully to becoming her closest friend and soon enough lover. He had to undergo a lot of changes to become the person he is now, and even though some of those changes, like his self-isolation and anxiety, was an unhealthy change, we did witness how slowly but surely he overcame these emotions and feelings that controlled his life, and how in the final scene of the movie he was ready to become a better person and open up once more to the world as all the X's on the faces fell simultaneously, and the view he had of the world changed forever. This is one of my favorite movies, and if I wanted to go on and ramble about the movie, it would need a video for it all alone. So that will be for another time. As for now, we have yet another one called Clannad. Tomoya Okozaki begins Clannad as a disillusioned, rebellious teenager. Deeply affected by his troubled family life, he feels disconnected from the world, harboring bitterness and resentment, particularly toward his father, who abandoned him emotionally. Early in the series, Tomoya's apathy makes him hesitant to form close relationships. However, his interactions with Nagisa and the other girls gradually transform him. As he becomes more involved in their lives, he learns the value of connection, love, and responsibility. His relationship with Nagisa deepens, pushing him to confront his past, heal from his emotional wounds, and mature. By the series' end, Tomoya evolves from a cynical, solitary figure into a devoted, loving father and partner. His growth is marked by his willingness to face his past traumas, support those he loves, and build a brighter future for his family. Through his journey, Tomoya learns the importance of hope, self-acceptance, and the strength of emotional bonds. And lastly, we have March Comes In Like a Lion. Nothing to cause you to become a withdrawn, self-isolated child than the trauma of losing one's family. Sadly, Rei Kiriyama is that child. A genius at the game shoujo that is self-isolating and has no idea how to interact and deal with the trauma he has gone through in his life. Only after he connects with the Kawamoto sisters, whose unconditional support helps him gradually open. Through his growing relationships and confrontations with his past, Rei learns to process his emotions and accept help. By the series' end, Rei becomes more resilient, communicative, and able to lean on others. His journey highlights healing, personal growth, and the importance of connection and support in overcoming adversity. What makes a series worth the watch isn't the action-packed scenes or the funny jokes it has. What actually makes it worth the effort is the character growth its characters go through in the series, and how it relates to us as an audience. This video was a prime example of such shows, and it highlights the importance that not only is the story and plot an important factor in a show or any spoken story, it's the characters that we relate to in each of the shows and stories that we hear, listen, and watch. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had fun making it for you. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below.
And that will be it for that video. Drop a like, comment, subscribe to me, You know, drop a like, comment, subscribe on Anime video. The original video will be in the description. But thank you. Come back again. Peace.